Welcome back. Welcome back. I took 2 weeks off. I took 2 weeks off because of freaking midterms and freaking studying. Guys, go to school.
That student life is rough, right? That student life is rough.
Yo. First of all, welcome to the break room. Welcome to the break room. I'll introduce that voice you hear in a second, that laughter you hear in a second. I call this the break room because I feel like I spell it B-R-A-K-E, because I feel like sometimes we should stop, take a break, and just assess what's going on with our lives and reflect before we continue on a pathway and get back on the road. So that's why I call it the break room. I'm here with a very special guest. School me. When is someone allowed to say Esquire? Is this in general? Is it in general? Once you have your own, like, once you pass the bar? I don't understand.
So the official designation of Esquire is once you're licensed to practice law.
Once you're licensed to practice law.
So even when you pass the bar, you're not necessarily admitted into the. You're not necessarily admitted into the bar yet. You have to be sworn in. Once you're sworn in a jurisdiction, you could use the designation Esquire.
First of all, let me introduce you. This is my man, my homie, my A-Spoon Coon, a good brother, a positive brother, a successful, accomplished young man. His name is Jeff.
What's good?
Don't be modest, brother. And since we talk about the law real quick, did you see that video of the NYPD detective, that young lady? Did you see that video of this woman?
I did.
If you haven't seen it, there's a video, I guess, circulating from yesterday. It's about, it references a young lady, and let me tell you something. Sidebar, super sidebar. It's something in the last 20 years about NYPD women. They are phenomenal looking ladies. You rarely see an ugly woman cop.
This is true. I had worked down there for some time. I had not run into an ugly one. I'll say that much. I did not run into an ugly one.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say her name,
but we don't need to say her name,
but God bless her. She was basically in a music video. I guess, nowadays the videos pop up like roaches. Rappers,
Right.
So
I guess the issue is it wasn't just any music video. She seemed to be the main video girl in the video.
It's crazy.
And
I wouldn't even say video girl or video vixen. She's playing little. They're in a strip club. It seems like,
she's literally playing. If it's a role for her, her role is the stripper, I guess.
Right.
Who's there twerking. She's doing a hell of a job. I'll say that. I commend her.
Listen, I'm not in protest. I'm not in protest. I wasn't appalled. Okay.
Not at all.
I was more a man named Paul than I was a Paul. I was not appalled. But I was talking to some colleagues about it yesterday, and we were wondering, like, maybe she's in trouble. Not in trouble, but there's controversy over it where she might be in trouble. And I guess I'm wondering, like, is it maybe because she's in the contract of the union, and maybe there's a clause where you can't be,
I think with those jobs, especially jobs where you like have to swear an oath, there's always some type of, I guess, morality factor there. You know what I mean? And that could cause problems for her in the future, for sure.
Hey, it looks like it, because listen, when I saw what I saw, I was like, it wasn't. By the way, this is 2025. This is not early 90s where nudity was a scarce thing. Nowadays, after the video of a tip drill with Nelly, after tip drill, I'm used to seeing some skin on a video. After tip drill, after Nelly, we've seen it all. Like,
pretty much, yeah. That was the catalyst, really, for everything that we probably see today. And to shoot her some bail, no pun intended. She wasn't, she was playing a stripper. She wasn't nude technically. She did have clothing on, albeit very bare.
Sure.
Yeah, so it actually could have been worse technically.
Yeah. No, it could have been worse, but that was a lot of skin.
It was a lot of skin for an officer, so I get why the controversy would lie.
Yeah, and so when I was ready, I was like, detective, cop, handcuffs, like, interesting. But no, I think that I'm rooting for her. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not for nothing, I feel like you said, the morality could be a clause, and I understand that. But in the last few years, especially with this new election, you always hear about liberties, civil liberties. I do wonder, like, where do we draw the line at
Listen,
civil liberties?
if everybody's giving it up a certain way, I feel like, everybody should.
We giving it up, and for the 2025 to 20 what's the 4 years from now, it'll be 2030, whatever. For the next 4 years, you better just give it up, because woof, it's gonna be hell in this country. We're not here to be political. Actually, we're here today because I want to have a sports conversation. So this is going to be considered a game day episode. I'll call it a game day series. And on today's game day series, man, there's so much going on I want to talk about. There's some boxing stuff I want to talk about. There is some basketball stuff I want to talk about. And really some asshole stuff I want to talk about. Some nonsensical douchebags that I want to talk about. Part of my French, yeah. But I want to talk about briefly a controversy that happened last weekend in the boxing world. I happen to be a big boxing fan, and last week a lightweight champion, 135-pound champion, Gervonta Tank Davis, he fought a gentleman by the name of Lamont Roach out in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Right.
And I can't remember what round it was, maybe round 7 or round 9. But in one of the rounds, Gervonta took a knee. He took a knee, and he's claiming he took a knee. And there's video. If you go back and watch, there's video in the round where you see him squinting and trying to rub his eye. So I guess he's trying to say there was grease in his eye, and that grease, was affecting his visuals. So he took a knee for that. Now, the thing about that is, depending on what state you are, because remember, boxing is the Wild West, where it's state by state. It's title by title or organization, governing body organization difference. There's like four main titles. So everybody has their own rules about different things, weight, etc.
Right.
So he took a knee, and technically, all my life, if you take a knee willingly, that's counted as a knockdown.
Right.
That's counted as a knockdown. And so he took a knee.
That was always my understanding.
Always.
Just being a casual.
Right.
Just being a casual, I figured that, all right, that's a knockdown. Yeah.
Yeah. So he took a knee, and he was not counted as a knockdown. A point was not taken away. And this was a tough fight for him, where it came out to a draw. Now, if the knee was counted as a knockdown, he would have lost the point, and he would have lost the fight.
Right.
So there's been a big stink about it. DQ him, disqualify him, or reverse the scorecard and give it to Lamont Roach. And here's what I'll say. I think I want your thoughts in a second, Jeff. Here's what I'm gonna say. I wish the proper thing or the consistent thing happened, where he was counted as a knockdown and he was eventually counted as the loser in the match. But I also know that boxing is like as a republic. I always call it the Republican's dream as a sport. And the reason why I say that, bear with me, the reason why I call boxing the Republican dream is because Republicans or libertarians, they like to say, you do your thing, I do my thing. You don't touch my business, I don't touch yours. Trickle down economics.
Open free markets.
No regulations. Open free markets. You make your own success as it goes by. And he who has the sword rules.
Right.
And boxing is a lot like that. Boxing is not like the UFC, where ironically with the UFC, I look at Dana White a little bit, especially when you talk about the financials of fighters. I look at him like Fidel Castro sometimes, where it's like, I control everything. I'll pay wages as I see fit.
Right. You're king.
I'm king, and I make the rules. I control everything, and it is what it is. And it's like, we'll spread out the financials, but really I hoard a lot of the cash.
Right.
So, as I said, which is the irony, because Dana White is lovey-dovey with Trump and vice versa. And I'll bring him up later, because Dana White has some interesting boxing news this week.
Right. I saw that too.
Right. We'll talk about that in a second. So I look at what happened last Saturday night boxing wise with Gervonta Davis. It's like, well, he's a cash cow. Cash cows will always get the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get a slap on the wrist. I think one time with Floyd, because Floyd is a domestic violence. He's been convicted of domestic violence. He has.
He did serve time.
Yes. Serve time, like after the Cotto fight.
Yeah.
2011, 2012. But I think Vegas and the judge out there, don't butcher me, y'all, but I think Vegas and the judge, they made sure they started his sentence after the fight,
They did. If I remember correctly, yeah, it was something like that where he was able. It didn't mess with his whatever boxing schedule he had already set up. He was able to serve his sentence after the fact, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and I remember hearing that Floyd's economic addition to the city, to Vegas, is so much where it's worth it because people are
Yeah,
flying in, we're booking Vegas hotels for him and flights. And he's an economy to himself, to the city. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Kind of like, I mean, to a lesser extent, but well, to a major extent. Remember how LeBron back in Cleveland, they would show these graphics that he was like $800 million he would add to the city just by being
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
which is crazy. So I say that to say, I've learned in life early on that sometimes life is just not fair.
Right,
There's kingmakers. There's people who you turn a blind eye to. There's people who cannot take their pills and the club don't fit. But that's another topic. But like, access, wealth, and you have the perceived upper hand gets you in the door and gives you the benefit of the doubt, even in injustice. What do you think?
So now, without knowing anything, because obviously like we have no inside information, anything like that. Do you believe, um, Tank not getting a point deducted? Do you think they factored all of that into the equation? Do you think that's the reason why he ultimately didn't get a point deducted? If you had to guess,
If I had to guess, maybe. The thing about boxing is seeing officials, whether it's the athletic commissions, whether it's the promoters, whether it's the organization, government bodies, the titles, the WBC, WBA, whatever, all 4 or 5 of them, they all quietly do grimy stuff. Oh, they're so locked in, like the mob in the 50s and 60s, where it's like hush hush, we do our thing, you do your thing. We're on the same page. We won't say it out loud. There'll be
wink, wink.
yeah, wink, wink.
Yeah,
There's very little evidence to show. I think back in the early 2000s or late 90s, the IBF, which is the only American title, it's based out of Jersey. They were raided by the feds because of something that was going on. So it's like people are kept a watchful eye on them, but yeah, people are still very hush hush about the grime they do. Like I
right.
said, the Wild West. So I would imagine so. I would imagine so, but there's nothing that has come out that has proved that. In fact, yesterday, the New York State Athletic Commission kind of ruled once for all, like, we're not going to go back and revisit it. It's not as
Okay,
raw,
okay.
whatever. I look at it as like privilege. You know what I'm saying? What we saw last Saturday was privilege.
Right. Now, another question. Do you believe Tank's reasoning, like the explanation that he gave? And the reason why I asked, if you notice, the young lady who had did his hair
Mm-hmm.
for leading up to the fight
Mm-hmm.
had come out, and I mean, I disagree with her doing this, but she had come out and she basically went on the defensive and tried to say that, hey, I don't know what he's talking about. I didn't use grease, or I didn't use whatever he's talking about. That ain't on me. There should have been no grease dripping on him.
I'm glad you brought that up because I saw earlier in the week before the fight that he was very happy to get his hair done. I saw some clip where he was getting ready. Even though he's from Baltimore, Tank loves to be in New York. So whenever he's in New York, it's always a thing for him. He posts a lot, stuff like that. So, and it was fight week, so he was showing it, getting his hair done. What she did, I thought was a little like
Opportunistic?
opportunistic,
Yeah.
like it wasn't that exactly classy. On one hand, maybe these young folks. On one hand, she probably felt offended that like he was just saying the grease. It's the grease. It's not me. And maybe she took
Right.
it to the heart,
She,
like
she took a section to
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's her fault. But what I would say is I kind of believed him, and like I said, I saw a clip on X, no longer Twitter. I saw shout out to Elon. You weirdo. By the way, they're wild right now. We're trying to get Derek Chauvin pardoned. That's all.
Don't get me started.
Wow. I thought we did this already, but anyway. Yeah, I saw on Twitter or X, I saw, like I said, there was fight night. I saw him winking, and he was really trying to get the thing off his eye, the grease out of his eye, and it was affecting him. But it's kind of like tough crap, you put that on you, so, it's part of your makeup or whatever. I
Right.
remember back in the 60s when Ali, I read about and I watched the clip, and I think Will Smith shows this in the Ali biopic. There's the Sonny Liston fight. I want to say this first one for the world title, for his first fight, his first world title ever.
Yeah.
I guess Sonny Liston's camp and in his corner, they put some salt on the mitt. So when he punched Ali, it was like he was blinded for like a round and a half. Like, I can't see. Like, He had to like dance around. I can't see
Dude,
you.
that is some underhanded
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
yo.
boxing is nasty, man. Boxing is nasty. I don't know if you ever saw a documentary. It was on HBO first. It was I forgot the name, but it's about this Irish cat named Billy Conklin, and he fought this guy named Louis Resto from the Bronx, Puerto Rican dude. Louis Resto and his trainer Panama Lewis, what did they do? No, they took plaster out of his
They
glove.
plastered the gloves.
Yeah, so he hit harder. So he lit up Billy. I think his name is Conklin. I always forget. But he lit him up. Like his eye was just like Powerpuff. Like and it drove him to depression where I guess he started hitting the bottle and he drove off a road one day and crashed and died. So the whole documentary is about like Louis coming to terms with his culpability because at first he was denying it, like nah. And then he went to Panama to find Panama Lewis and they hashed it out. So, boxing is dirty. Boxing is dirty. Shane Mosley back in the early 2000s or so, whatever it was, he fought Antonio Margarito, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And that the
Yeah,
same thing.
Margarita, yeah.
Same thing.
That plastered, right?
Matter of fact, it wasn't the Sugar Shane Mosley fight. It was the Cotto fight.
Cotto, yeah.
And Cotto was never lit up like that before. Blood drawn, like that, whatever. Never. Margarito was giving it to him. He's like, hey, this really hurts. That's what's going on.
Like, yo, this guy's really strong. He probably thinking this guy's really strong. When he's getting lit up like that.
And then come to find out, it was that, and
that's messed up. That's messed up.
It was messed up. So boxing is a dirty, dirty game. So I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked about these underhanded tactics. But listen, man, like I said, it's the Wild West. It's the Wild West, which is interesting because it is the Wild West now, but the Middle East, not the Wild West, wants to invest.
Right. But before you get there, Tank and Roach are set. They're gonna rematch.
I hope so. There's Tank has come out and said run it back. Like he said, let's do this. And Roach said, of course I'm down. Like whatever. Oh,
who you got in the rematch if it goes through?
I'm glad you asked that because Tank is a special fighter. Lamar Roach is dope too, and he was lighting up Tank that night. He was on his A game. Way he was moving, pivoting. I was out that night, and my wife gave me an opportunity to, if you wanted to, go to the Barclays, but take us are crazy. But I was out that night, so I had to catch it on my phone or like wait for like the highlights or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm that guy. If we're out and the Knicks are playing or a certain fight's on,
I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. Listen.
Shout out to my boy Joe from Jersey. I was at his wedding, 8 years ago, and it was a playoffs. It wasn't even the Knicks. It wasn't the Knicks. It was the playoffs, and I think it was Kawhi. I think it was whatever team Kawhi was on. Kawhi switch up, and I want to say maybe it was the Toronto. No, I don't know what it was. I remember Kawhi was whooping ass.
Oh, he was still on the Spurs. This was when he went down with the injury.
Yes, it was that.
Yeah. It was playing Golden. He was lighting Golden State. I was like, what's happening? I'm like, they're about to win this series. I'm like, yo, the Spurs about to beat them.
So I'm watching it at a wedding, and like wedding stuff is supposed to have like moments where you got to get up and dance. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's great too. So I'm that guy. I will watch certain games. I can't resist, or I'll do a little peeking, like, all right, let me see what the score is real quick. Yo, man, that's how I am. But yeah, I hope they fight again. Like I said, I was that guy that night watching it or trying to check in. I was very interested because I was seeing that Tank was getting tagged up. And to answer your question, I have faith that Tank on any night could beat anybody around his weight class. A lot of the power rests on him, on how he's focused, and was nervous about being a Tank quote unquote fan the past week or for the past few months he has been on his I'm a Muslim now, my name was Waleed or whatever it is. Shout out to everybody doing Ramadan. Or like, I got my daughters now, they're getting older, I gotta focus, I gotta be a better person. Because by the way, Tank has had some trouble past.
Right.
He's just it's documented what he's done. He's done a few things. It's like, yo, you're bugging. So he's trying to really calm down now, and that's great and all. That's great. You're trying to live a better life. But boxing is like being a rapper or Mary J. Blige. If you ain't on drugs, if you're not like,
if you're not going through some struggle, it ain't gonna hit the same.
You need to be in the wrong space to be at the right time or the right product. You need the wrong space. Because like, yo, Eminem before he got
Before
sober.
getting sober,
I was one of them. I was just like, I was 2002. I'm
nobody could touch Eminem.
Drugged out Eminem.
Sobriety.
Pills M was just like, this is amazing. Fresh from a haircut, which I cannot relate to no more. We got my man Matt joining in. You all right, Matt?
Matt, we can hear you right now. If you can hear us.
Yeah, we can hear you right now.
You hear me?
Yeah, you on live.
Yeah, you're responding to it. We can hear you.
You want?
Didn't say anything.
I guess you're just live. But let me make sure your mic's okay. There you are.
No, my mic is on.
My mic sounds nice. All right.
This guy just wanted to get on camera after getting a cut. That's all this is right
That's
now.
all it is. That's all it is.
He just wanted to get on camera.
Bald ass niggas is always hating, I swear, yo.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah.
Listen. Enjoy while it lasts, man. Because sometimes
I think I'm gonna have this forever, but okay.
You know
wow. Very confident.
Very confident. I should creep up on people in the
Can we get him off the
Yo, man.
It was just a cup. It's just a cup.
Just the cup. Thanks.
Right now, Matt, me and him are talking about the Tank and Roach fight and the controversy about the knockdown not scored and how we felt about it. I was saying that, like, yo, man, boxing is the Wild West where, like, he who holds the gold tells the story, you know what I'm saying? Or rules the show. So I'm not surprised Tank was given that decision of a draw to save face because he holds the prize, you know what I'm saying, for the rematch.
But yeah, he lost. Let's just speak. Only I agree with the statement with to beat the champ, you got to beat the champ.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you have to knock him out.
Right.
But you have to dominate the match. Just even with the grease in his eyes or whatever, bro. Once you take a knee, that should have been a 10 count. Honestly speaking, regardless of whatever.
You would think so, and I think that's what.
The only way you get a pass from me is if you slip on something in the ring. That's it. And then the ref's like, oh yeah, you can get up. But again, none of that happened. He took a knee and it should have counted against him.
Right. I agree. And I say that as someone who likes to see Tank fights and enjoys his skills. You know, he should have went the other way, or at least he should have been penalized for it. And if he was penalized for it, that probably would have made him turn up and focus and then find a knockout or whatever. So he should have had that pressure on him to, you know, turn up now because you're down on the cards because you got knocked down or you took a knee. So we'll see what happens. But speaking of boxing, I want to get y'all insight or opinion on this because there's this dude. He's from Saudi Arabia. His name is Turki Al-Sheikh. He is kind of like a sports ambassador. Well, to us, he's a sports ambassador to Saudi Arabia, but he's more than that. He's more to the prince over there, and he does a lot for them. But, you know, they have like trillions of dollars over there. So you know, in the last few years, Saudi Arabia has been trying to invest in sports. You know, they did live with golf. They took a lot of golfers away from the PGA, and
I remember that.
They went over that, and that was controversial. Even though I could care less about golf, that is one sport. I don't know about y'all. I can care less.
It's tough. It's tough to. I've tried.
I'm not gonna lie. ESPN had something which was pretty cool. It was like Top Golf, but with like Tiger Woods and stuff like that. They hit the ball off of a screen or some shit like that. It was actually pretty interesting, but again, I don't know the scoring and all that system. I don't know anything about that, so I was lost the whole.
I mean, I kind of understand it because I played a lot of mini golf or like just in general, or when I used to go out on like when I was single, going out on dates and stuff. As far as like real golf, man, I'd rather watch paint dry. Like it's just like it's like this. What the hell are we doing? Why is there an alligator in the middle of the freaking field? Get that alligator out of there. What are we doing?
The only thing from golf that I remember, the only golf that I ever did was the Top Golf and playing it on a PlayStation. Because that was the game that came with the PlayStation.
I like the golf video games. I do. I mess with them.
That's the irony. I'll bust out a golf video game, but live.
Yeah, it was called Hot Shot Golf or something like that.
And maybe I'm missing something because I see a lot of people that are into golf, like Steph Curry, Canelo. So many people are actually like they recreationally. Schoolboy Q. So many different people they recreationally do golf and then go out. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, so one day I'm gonna try it, but I know I'm gonna get pissed off because I'm not going to make it in any of the holes in the first.
Me personally, I'd rather just do the Top Golf, which me and Jeff did a while ago. I'd rather just do that.
Right.
I would mess with that.
there's no me getting in a cart, having to go chase this ball, having to see where it landed. I'm not doing all that, bro. Let me just hit it off of a tee, and then I'll score it that way.
Exactly. But yeah, so this dude, Turkey Al-Sheikh, I want to say for like a year or two now, he's invested into boxing. I think he might have even done a UFC card too in Saudi Arabia. But he's been invested heavy into boxing, putting on fights out there in Saudi Arabia. Sometimes he did he'll do cards in the States. I think the last Terrence Crawford fight was in LA, and it was by Turkey Al-Sheikh, that's his name. And him through the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they're really trying to move in on sports, including boxing. So this week they have announced that they are going to do boxing with Dana White as an official promotion, and they as a matter of fact, let me pull up a little press release about it. But yeah, they're gonna do boxing. Let me pull up a little. I should have had it up earlier, yeah, but my bad. But yeah, they're gonna do a boxing promotion. It's gonna be with TKO. It will be the name of the actual brand, and here it is.
Wait, TKO. Isn't that with The Rock?
That's what I was gonna say. I believe they're the same.
Yep.
The umbrella that acquired WWE or something like that. No,
I'm glad you did. Yes, you're right, guys. Because what it is UFC and WWE. They are now under Endeavor. Endeavor is the like this agency out in LA.
right.
Pretty much what Entourage was based on, the HBO show. And basically, they made an announcement of a new boxing promotion company where basically they partnered with TKO, and it's going to be a quote unquote UFC style league, this boxing promotion. And here's a quote from Al-Sheikh: "This landmark partnership between industry powerhouses sets the stage for an unparalleled experience for boxers and fans. Together, we are developing the next generation of talent, blah, 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 blah." So the idea is, to have one title and just have a UFC style model of fights.
So when you say one title, there will be weight classes.
Right, there will be weight classes. It'll just be one title. And right now, Turkey Al-Sheikh, with all his money, he recently purchased Ring Magazine, which is a historic.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know he did that.
Bought it maybe like. Go ahead.
That's the thing I hate about boxing. Like, you have the WBA, WBC, the FBA. It's like, yo, we just need one title, bro. We just need one. That's it. And
crazy.
That's why everybody's running from each other.
You might get an FBA title one day.
You might.
It's like it's way too many titles, bro. Way too many.
You know what it is? It's very confusing to the viewers, the amount of titles there are. They're about 4 to 5. There's the WBC based in Mexico, the WBA based in Venezuela, IBF is from New Jersey, the IBO, I forgot, and I'm forgetting one. The WBO.
Yo, Mike, just to let you know, you telling me all this, I never knew it was based in Jersey, Mexico, all that.
This
I thought it was I just thought it was a worldwide thing. Like, these were
they're supposed to be world titles, so they represent the world at large, but where they're based at is those places: Venezuela, Mexico, Jersey, and I forgot where the WBO's in Puerto Rico, WBO. And I understand for the viewers, for consumers, why it's annoying as hell. It's confusing as hell to have all these titles, because people like continuity. They want to have just simple, easy, show me who the champion is. Show me who the champion is. That's it. I don't want to have to confuse myself with, is he better than him or whatever? You want just a simple rankings and simple champion, number C, a letter C for champion, and the rest is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's
exactly what UFC has.
Right. And I'm gonna give you some backstory of why actually, like, I understand the other side, because here's what I'll say. The thing about boxing is boxing has so many participants worldwide across the globe. It's like, to be a registered boxer, it doesn't take much. You know what I'm saying? To be registered as a boxer.
My man is actually one of my coworkers.
And because there's so many boxers worldwide, it's tough to have one title per division for hundreds of thousands of people who are trying to compete for these titles. So they have made these titles so you can be applicable for one, depending on where you advocate for your talent. So like, if you say, I want to register with the WBC, I'm gonna go down to Mexico and register with the WBC. I want to be a WBC titleist, because it's a historic brand where Muhammad Ali had it for a while, et cetera, et cetera. I understand why, because of the population of the participants, you need maybe more than one belt to represent skill set and whatnot. I also appreciate for the consumers what the UFC did. The UFC, as a promotional outfit, said, hey, we're the MMA, we're not boxing, and because we're MMA and not boxing, we are not beholden to the Muhammad Ali Act of 1999. The Muhammad Ali Act is a federal document and law, which, by the way, it's not shocking that Dana White is cool with Trump as I say this.
Right.
So the Muhammad Ali Act, it has so many stipulations that quote unquote protects boxers. So for instance, a promoter in boxing, whether it's Top Rank on ESPN or Matchroom on the Zone or any other promotion company, they're not allowed to have their own title like the UFC does for MMA. Because UFC is really a promotional company. They pose as a league, but legally they're not a league. They're a promotional company. And because they're MMA and not boxing, they're allowed to have a title just for their own company to say, this is the standard. And it doesn't matter because it is a standard because perception is reality. The UFC is perceived to be the all-around class of the MMA sport. You're going to go there no matter what and say, this is where I should be and this is where I should be fighting for. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to one championship or the other MMA companies, but people know UFC is the standard for the modern era. So they're allowed to do that. But in boxing, because there's so many different laws to protect quote unquote fighters' monies, because that's what it's made for, to protect fighters' wages. The act, they have these stipulations where a promoter cannot have a belt, so you rely on the actual organizations across the world to have rankings, and then you fight for them or you fight under them. So I see both sides as far as the population wise, but it's intriguing that they're gonna try to overthrow the Muhammad Ali Act, Alex Sheik, and Dana White, and it's not shocking that Dana White is cool with Trump because Trump is the kind of person where he'll spend his time on frivolous stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff like boxing or whatever. It won't be shocking to me where there's a crisis going on worldwide. He's like, all right, whatever. My boy Dana White needs my help.
Go, I'm coming to you.
So don't be surprised if that infamous Muhammad Ali Act, which would protect fighters' wages and put some barriers between the promoter and TV contracts and the fighter, if that gets broken down because Dana White wants his way. So what do y'all think overall about a major cash flourishing boxing league or quote unquote league?
So I think, like you said, one league would be difficult to organize, I think. Mm-hmm. Especially with the way it is right now, to get all parties on the same page and under one umbrella would be damn near impossible, I think. I think the best way to do it would be they could break it up into regions, and that way, whatever the setups could have some type of autonomy, but still be beholden to the same rules and whatnot also. It's like, okay, this region will have this belt, this region will have this belt or whatever. And then there could be like, all right, so-called world champion, but for that region, right? And then if you wanted to go at it for actual world champion, you know what I mean? Like one belt reigns supreme, basically, that one would be more, like, clearly more prestigious than the other, would be more important than the other. Like, a world champion would be more important than a regional champ. That'd be the best way. Like, again, just spitballing off the top of my head. That's what I think of when it comes to possibly organizing boxing in a certain way.
What do you think, Matt?
It sounds like you're trying to restart that East Coast West Coast beef right now. I agree with Jeff, but I don't like right now. It's confusing to me. Like the all the 3 letters and then the belt name and all that stuff. Only because like nobody knows. Well, me and Jeff today just found out what it meant. You know what I mean? For different regions. I agree with the regions, but make it so that people understand what the belt is and have a hierarchy of belts. You have like in wrestling, you have the world champion and then you have the intercontinental champion.
Right.
You have one. You know who the world champion is. You know who the intercontinental champion is. You know what level they are at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like wrestling had that since day one. But the only thing is that WWE added another belt where it's like you have the heavyweight champion and then you have the world champion. So it's like
which one is more
right? Like so, but then it shows it like one is on one show, one is on another show, but then every once in a while you'll get them both on the same show. So it's kind of, again, they're also kind of confusing with that also. But like they have the Intercontinental Champion and the United States Champion. They're on separate shows. but everybody else is under the same umbrella, and you know which hierarchy, which is the highest belt.
Right. I'm
Like
glad.
right now, I think Cody Rhodes has like the highest belt because he's on every single show, and the other guy is really not that often.
Right. You know, it's funny. I was just going to mention the WWE example, intercontinental titles, etc. By the way, it's been what 20 years now, or 15, 20 years. I don't like saying WWE. I just don't like saying that. I like saying WWF. I'm so old.
Don't get banned. Don't get banned. Don't get banned.
Oh, what is it like a wildlife thing or something like that? Whatever it is.
Some wildlife.
The shit with the panda on it. That's what
I guess if you're like a die-hard boxing fan, the way you know for sure who is the champion is once in a blue moon, like a comet has to fly by for this. Once in a blue moon, you get all the titles together for a fight.
A unification, right?
And that's called an undisputed. When you have all titles on the line, like they're combining them, they unify them together, that's called an undisputed fight. And that's, you know.
Right.
This is gonna be this.
Okay, this is a dude right here.
But it happens so infrequent. It happens so infrequent because, and this is where I see both sides, because boxing is obviously a violent sport. So a lot of times in boxing, you'll see, especially in the modern era, you'll see certain fighters not take certain fights at certain times because they're trying to preserve their career. They're trying to not have a physical war right now. They're trying to preserve their body until the time is right. They're trying to make sure they're trying to make sure they put their body on the line for that type of stress when the money for it, the business for it, is at its apex. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, on one hand, we could have all crucified Floyd and Manny saying, yo, that fight between y'all should have happened in 2010. But if you're Floyd, he could say, sure, of course it could have. But we did the calculations back then. It wouldn't have been as much as it would have been 5 years later. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like, damn, money-wise, I almost can't blame them. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get paid, you know, $60 million in 2010, but then $600 million in 2015, it's almost like, yeah, I'll wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But to us,
financially, it made sense.
Yeah, but to us as fans, it sucks for us.
Yeah, but with boxing, though, Mayweather always made out with the most money. And it wasn't like it was even. You know what I mean? It was always like 80-20, 70-30. You know what I mean? It was never 60-40 or 50-50 or nothing like that. It was always him making the most, like twice the amount of money that the other person made.
Right. I guess, true, Jeff's recording has stopped, or do an incoming call, so I guess he'll jump back in afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to say something about wrestling. And what I wanted to say about wrestling was two things. One, what is going on with the women in wrestling? It's like Jada. I saw a Jada Parker the other day, like some still shot, or she wasn't in the ring. She was like modeling or doing the ad or something. Whatever she was doing, I was like, what's up with Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, well, I mean, he is the Heartbreak Kid. You got to thank Shawn Michaels for all that. Yo, the NXT girls that he got going on it's crazy. And I watched the Royal Rumble. I think maybe minimum of 10 of them were from NXT. And yeah, like for him to choose you, you have to stand to the side and you have to have cake. But he's not picking you because all the girls that he's picking are fire.
Fire.
But, you know, to take away from them, they're all very talented. They all know how to wrestle in the ring. You know what I mean? It's not just they have sex appeal. They actually know how to wrestle.
No, I not only do I agree with that. We're talking about I had to ask some Jeff about my fascination recently with the uptick in these women in WWE lately. In fact, before we continue, can you explain to me, Matt, what is NXT? What is that exactly? I always hear the phrase the NXT show. What is NXT?
It's basically a development program for before they reach into WWE. That's all it is. But the thing about it, though, they'll push you up, and if you mess up, they'll bring you back. But then they also have people from like WWE. They'll go back to NXT for like a week or so, or like a month, to push one of the characters so that they could probably they'll see where they at to see if they're ready for WWE or not. And a lot of them, they work on their mic skills in NXT. Again, it's a development program. And they got another show coming that's out right now with, I guess it's like another modern day Tough Enough. If you ever remember, that.
I heard some on Tubi about
that.
I
remember Tough Enough.
I heard Peter Rosenberg doing some on Tubi about like.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about Rosenberg. I don't even know if it's on Tubi, but it's another development You got going.
So when we say NXT is basically the G League,
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
the Chile?
Yeah, basically, because you can get put up and then you can be brought back down.
But NXT be popping because people at work be talking about it like it's a great show to watch on its own right.
I'll be honest with you, I watch it every once in a while, but there's a lot of botched moves. It's like, damn, he landed wrong. Damn, yeah, I don't think she was supposed to kick her that hard. Like,
So
you can actually see it.
You're seeing the kinks worked out. You're seeing the
Yeah,
actual
basically. And their mic skills aren't the greatest. The the Rock probably had the best mic skills. These people now, they need a lot of help with speaking on the mic and stuff like that.
Are there good products that came out of NXT that we can point to right now, like that they rose out and did well for themselves?
Braun Breaker, who is right now I think he's the U.S. champion, and he's one of the Steiner brothers' son.
Yeah, that's how old we are.
Yeah, he came out, and if you think about it, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, they're all from NXT.
Oh, I didn't know Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are from NXT. I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
So him, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins made up the Shield. They broke up. Dean Ambrose is on TNA, which I do not watch because they have no crowds, and the quality. If you want to talk about botch moves in NXT, TNA is all that. TNA is all about botch moves.
That's Chris Jericho. That's Jericho's joint, right? Chris Jericho used to be there.
Yeah, Chris Jericho. I think the owner his name is Tony Khan. I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Everybody's telling me to watch TNA, but every time I watch it, it's like, yo, this is terrible. I can't continue with this, so I just never go back to it. And I saw I seen a lot of videos on Instagram where it was like they showed the crowd, and it's like you can fill up the first row, and the cameras never zoom out and stuff like that. I just don't know if it's true like that, but that's what I've seen on Instagram. Like look at TNA's crowd and stuff like that. But a lot of people from WWE have gone to TNA and are successful. So I don't know how they're making their money, but they sure are.
No kidding. Kidding. Well, the reason why I brought it up, I don't know if Jeff can hear me, but I brought this up because, man, like I said, whatever Shawn Michaels is doing hiring wise of the women, the ladies, I'm not mad at him. But to your point, yes, I've seen a lot of clips of the past few months and years of this new crop of women, and yes, they are wrestling way better than what I remember. They're from back in 20, 25 years ago. You know, back in the day, you weren't getting that many moves and whatnot. So it's like, you know, I'm very impressed by what I see, and from what I'm seeing, the mic skills are better. I'm seeing the fights and the crowd work is better with these ladies. So
it's way better. Besides, last night on SmackDown, they had like an episode. There was like a period where Bianca Belair and Naomi were going at it, and I'm like,
I saw that.
It looked like a Family Matters clip. I was like, nah, this can't be.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, damn, they could have did better. Bianca did not shed one tear, and I'm like, come on now.
The dark-skinned chick, she was in the ring like crying or trying to cry.
Yeah.
I was like, what's happening here? I was like,
don't disrespect Family Matters, bro.
Hey, man, it matters, man. You know, do you guys consider Family Matters a black show?
I mean,
I think
based off the characters, yeah.
You would go ahead.
Ultimately, it is a black show because they definitely had multiple episodes that were themed behind race because it's a black family. So that was a dynamic there. Okay. Now, I know generally speaking, the storylines applied across the board.
Sure.
Generally speaking, you could take a random episode and say, okay, yeah, this is just a show. This is just a show. It's not a black show, whatever. Mm-hmm. But because they did lean into it on certain occasions, you can't take that away from them.
It was funny. The blackest thing I can remember about, it's gonna sound terrible. This is a joke, but the blackest thing I can remember about Family Matters, the blackest thing I can remember about Family Matters was the episode when Eddie got beat up by the dragons.
Oh my!
All you hear is,
and this is the blackest thing you could.
What's the mother's name? Harriet. All you hear is
Harriet. Yeah,
Harriet. Eddie's coming to the house. What's wrong? He's beat up. His mouth is on.
Oh my goodness.
Shirt ripped up. A white T-shirt.
Yeah, ripped up. They whipped this. But damn, shout out to Eddie Winslow.
I got beat up.
By the way, why did they jump the shark? You know when Family Matters for me jumped the shark. I can't even say too much. It was Stefan. Which anyone can make the case. It was Stefan. You can make that case.
So they jumped the shark, but it also helped prolong the series also,
No,
too,
no,
because
hear me out. I'm not saying, but not cut you off, but hear me out. I'm not saying that that is the case for me. I think they jumped the shark when I remember seeing an episode where they were in France and Urkel teleported. He had a teleportation machine. I was like, what's happening? Wait, what's happening? You can teleport now? That was like, all right, guys, no.
yeah,
Am I
the,
bugging?
the
Did I make that up? The teleportation? Do y'all remember that?
you're not bugging. I don't think so, because they were doing some wild stuff, man, at a certain point. I think it included teleportation. He, along with becoming Stefan, he became Bruce Lee at one point.
He did.
Steve Urkel became Bruce Lee at one point. It was a
Winslow became a
lot.
nerd. Carl Winslow became a nerd.
He did.
Yeah.
He did also. Yeah,
Well, I
there
don't
was a
remember
lot
that.
there.
There was an episode
did
where
happen.
he
There was
where
an
he went
episode.
into the machine and became a nerd.
I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that.
There was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been much.
The funniest character to me though was Murder Urkel. I should use
Yeah,
to want
Murder
to
Girl.
kiss Eddie and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, um, that's a boy.
That's a dude.
Thank you for that profound thought.
By the way, great observation. No, but no, I'm assuming Jaleel White was in his like teens then. Imagine the cast director, I mean the producers, like, hey, for this scene, you gotta wear a skirt. You 15-year-old, and you gotta like kiss your co-star. I don't know what I'm like, all right, guys, let's rewrite. This is some rewrites. What are we doing here? What's going on? Who's writing this stuff? So, the only reason why I brought it up because over the past few months, I guess Jaleel White wrote a book. And he was taking some feedback because people say Getty Mac is not black or whatever. So I don't know. I just thought about it. But yeah, man, as far as wrestling goes, I feel like they've always had it right with the belts, as far as, like you said, Matt having the world title, the Intercontinental. That's what I want to talk to y'all about. That, speaking of titles, as I'm getting older in age, I'm realizing that people do not like Bret Hart as much, or they don't like his reaction to the Montreal Screwjob because they feel like he is taking it too serious, or he took wrestling too serious. He should have got over it, and it's not that serious to begin with. So once and for all, do you side with Bret ideology wise, where like this is an institution, this is wrestling, I deserve what I earn as far as my legacy, how I'm portrayed, and I should have been able to walk out that building as a champion to the WCW? Or do you agree with Vince, where it's like, no, this is a business still, and you're leaving my company, you're not taking my title with you, and my status of my company as a champion with you. I'm gonna pass it over to somebody else and keep this train going. Where do y'all stand on this? Do y'all sympathize with the wrestler who really believes in kayfabe and believes in the institution of wrestling, or do you believe in, hey man, it's just business, it is what it is, knock it off?
This is so. This is kind of heavy.
I'm sorry. I've always wanted to ask this question to y'all.
So wait, let me ask you this. I'm not sorry. With Bret Hart, right? It was already known that he was gonna go to WCW after.
Apparently so.
It was. He had already signed. He signed. Like this, they made him offer he couldn't refuse.
Right.
At the time, Ted Turner was throwing money at these wrestlers. That's why all of these wrestlers eventually went to WCW. Ted Turner was just throwing them bags that Vince at the time wasn't paying.
Right.
So he had signed. He took issue with, vacating the title, you know what I mean? Like losing the title before he left, which was unreasonable on his part at the end of the day. It was unreasonable.
Right.
For him to even like put the company in the position like, oh no, I want to leave here the champion. You're about to go to the company's competitor. You know what I mean? So like, why, who in their right mind would allow that? You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess the thing is though, Vince McMahon is, he's a straight up businessman at the end of the day, right? So whatever
Very
is
shrewd.
best for the product, exactly, very shrewd businessman. So whatever is best for the product is what he's ultimately gonna do. So I understand why he did it. I feel like everybody should have been clear with each other, because Bret, crazy that he would even mention that, you know what I mean,
Right.
to them, to say like, hey, I want to leave here with the title. You know what I mean? The only thing I'm not Vince for was not saying straight up like, no, absolutely not. That's not happening.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean? That's
right.
the only thing I knock him for because and she got the screw job.
Yeah, he deceived them basically. We're like, all right,
Right.
you'll win, and then he was like, no, 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 no.
Exactly. Ring that bell. Ring that bell. It's over.
Go ahead, Matt.
The biggest takeaway from that though is that he lost the belt in Canada.
That's what it is because it was Montreal.
Yeah, he lost the belt in Canada.
So I understand why he didn't want it to happen there also.
Right.
So you're telling me
would it have been a bad idea if so he beat Shawn Michaels in Canada and then he just drops the belt? Was that not an idea that could have happened?
Yeah. Even with that, it's like, oh, what do you call it? Because now the next time he appears in WCW, it's like, yo, we have the WWF champion in the house now. What do you call it? He's ours. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Nah.
I don't. Y'all can school me about team sports. I don't know if you ever seen this in team sports, but I know in individual sports, it's usually customary for someone to lose to put someone over. So even in boxing, which is not predetermined, which is actual like just live competition, usually you want in a big fight, you want someone who's popular to maybe lose, so then they'll turn over the person who did win to be a star now. You know what I'm saying? So theoretically, last weekend, Lamont Roach could have been a bigger star if he had gotten the W under his belt. It would have raised his profile even more. It would have raised his money, and it'd be a bigger rematch if it happens. But usually in individual sports, you see that, like whether it's wrestling or boxing, you want someone to lose so you can put them over. You know what I'm saying? As far as a big name. So I get it. As far as like maybe like Matt is saying, like maybe he could have just dropped the belt afterwards. But I understand like Vince is like, nah, we want to put him over. We want to have Shawn Michaels be the declared winner because the consumers, they want to see a winner. Like they want to say, hey, this guy won in my eyes. I guess it helps with fandom. I guess you would say.
But wasn't Shawn Michaels a big enough star at the time of the fight?
Yeah, he was a big enough star. I think Bret just really took exception to losing the title
in Canada.
In Canada.
Sorry, Aubrey.
And also him and Shawn Michaels had friction in the locker room. Like it was like, you know what I mean? They didn't like each other in real life. Yeah. You know? So that kind of added insult to injury also, which I understand. But at the end of the day, I'm with Vince, bro. You can't. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I agree though. At some point you had to lose. You can't take the WWF, that's what it was named back then, belt to WCW. And I don't think either company ever mentions the other company. Like they don't say WWF or WCW. They just say the other brand. They'll never
they never say name. They'll never say by name the other company.
Right.
But they always have alluded to each other, like taking shots at each other from time to time. And they were at war with each other basically for ratings.
I just want to say
DX did that.
I just want to say I was that guy where, from 8 to 9, I was locked in WCW. I was locked in on TNT. As soon as 9 o'clock hit, I was like, all right, guys, it was fun. Unless there was a big match going on later on that night on WCW, then I'll go back and forth. Like, all right, let me check what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely made the switch during commercial breaks. It just sucked that sometimes they were both on commercial breaks. So it's like, what am I going to watch now? So
yeah. It's like y'all both on commercial break. What the hell?
But I'll be honest with you, WCW did have a good brand of wrestlers. They just have a good brand of wrestlers. They couldn't promote right.
Yeah, they botched the storylines.
Yeah,
they botched them. Yeah,
they had I would say they had too much talent, really. But they had so much talent they didn't know what to do with it. Because at a certain point, they had all the big names from WWF, which really kind of forced the WWF to go into the Attitude Era. Vince was like, we need to do something different. And that's what kind of sparked everything off, which ultimately led to WWE success, basically.
Well, with WCW, though, they got the old wrestlers. That was the only thing. Like, Macho Man was already aged. Ric Flair, aged. Hulk Hogan, aged. You know what I mean? Bret Hart, old. Their biggest talent was Goldberg, but there was a match where, I don't know, it's probably on YouTube, where he had a match with William Regal, and William Regal schooled him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not letting you take over, and it was basic, and it made Goldberg look terrible.
Well, from what I've heard that Goldberg is not well liked as a wrestler. Like he would be erratic with his moves. He didn't know how to do things correctly, and he would injure people by accident. Like
He injured Bret Hart.
Yeah, injured Bret Hart. Like I hear bad things about him as a wrestler, as an actual performance person. He wasn't that well. He wasn't that. I know he was a football guy. He played for the Rams. He played for the.
I forget who he played for, but he did play professionally.
Rams or the Chargers, something like either the Rams or Chargers. Somebody paid for. But so that wasn't his bag per se. Yeah, I mean, I would switch back and forth too, but like I said, if it was a Wolfpack, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the fans had no respect for anybody in WCW. They were throwing garbage in the ring, throwing it at the ref. I'm like, yo, you would never see this on WWF.
No, because Vince
that was always wild to me, seeing that. I never understood how that was allowed to go down, bro.
Because Vince is conservative, but not even conservative. His far get these poor people out of here. It's like he would come out. He'd probably come out and start pointing fingers. Hey, you get out of here with the buzz cut, with the mohawk. Get out of here. So Vince don't play. Vince does not play. Vince will sell his mother for that bag. All right.
Nah, he definitely would.
So I'm not surprised, but you're right, Matt. WCW, they would throw trash and just. I saw a clip of an old fight. I don't know if an old match. I don't know if it was ECW. I don't know what it was. Or maybe it was some off-brand local show. But I guess a wrestler had said, "Hey, somebody give me a chair," and one chair was thrown in the ring, and then everybody started throwing chairs in the ring.
And then
hey guys,
the audience threw chairs in the ring.
Yeah,
that's probably the most wild. Now that was ECW.
ECW?
Yes, it was. It was. Yeah.
And that's probably the wildest wrestling clip to date, bro. Because as much as I've seen it, and even though I've seen it back in the day, I look at it, I'm like, no, that has to be AI. Still to this day, I'm like, that has to be AI. There's no way that this actually happened.
I'm glad.
Apparently it did.
I'm glad we're mentioning ECW. Let me give ECW its flowers from this standpoint. When ECW was first on the scene, or not first on the scene, when it first started bubbling and getting popular, it's probably one of the last few things we have in American pop culture that was mystique and low-key popular. What I mean by that is, I remember going outside to play in the mid to late 90s on a Sunday. Everybody from my buildings would be like, yo, did you watch ECW last night? Yo, did you watch ECW? Oh, yo, did you watch ECW? Yo, that was crazy. Yeah. And it was like, damn, I should have stayed up. You know what I'm saying? It was like this, it was this taboo thing where it's popping, but it's low key popping. If you know, you know. It's underground.
Wasn't mainstream.
It wasn't mainstream. If you know, you know. And
it wasn't mainstream, but it was bubbling.
It was bubbling, and it was like it's probably the last few times where we could appreciate something that was like crazy violent, crazy risque. And you gotta search for it, or you gotta stay up for it. As opposed to now on YouTube, you get everything all at once. So it's crazy. Now we are desensitized. We're desensitized to this kind of stuff. But back then it was like, wow, that Van Dam did that. Wow, New Jack did that. Barbed wires on his skin for real. Like, wow, on a bat. So I miss those days where we didn't get everything all at once via YouTube or via internet, but we had to really really appreciate the craziness that we would get at times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. New Jack tried to kill somebody.
Yeah.
He literally, I don't remember what kind of, it was a tables match, but they were stacked on top of the cage or some shit like that. And he literally took the guy and threw him off the stage and through tables, saying he was trying to kill him. It was a YouTube clip where he was talking about it. We were talking about the match. Because something happened between them two in the match before where New Jack actually got hurt. And when he came back, in his mind, he was like, I want a match with this guy, and I'm going to try and kill him. That's what he was saying to himself.
Yeah, listen, New Jack did not play. He did not play. As a matter of fact, I'm going to prove to you he did not play because, listen, guys, what I'm about to share as far as the share screen, I do not condone these opinions of New Jack. I do not subscribe to this. I'm not saying I agree with them. But man, this was a not funny. I won't say funny. This was a wild clip. Do you remember this? I'm gonna play right now.
Yes.
Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Yeah.
This is a wild promo. Matt, do you hear me? Do you hear this?
Yeah, I hear it.
Hold up. I'm gonna get it for you. I see that.
Leave right there.
Chat. Hold up. I don't think I heard him. Yo, he said there's two less. He's wild.
Wow.
I wonder if he was freestyling or if he planned that at the time. If he was freestyling, shout outs to him. That's good. He felt the energy, he leaned into it.
Oh, he felt the energy,
Good
right?
mic skills
Just
is
crazy.
that's part of the package when it comes to, if you're a good wrestler or not. That's like the whole total package of certain characters and whatnot,
He doubled down. Go ahead, man.
But after he says that, how do you not cut him off? How do you let him continue? Like you gotta like commercial. Like you gotta man.
Yo, he said shout out OJ. That's two less to worry about. That is a wild statement. That's
He said keep up the good work, baby.
People look at work. Yeah, you're right. What's crazy? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Dog, why would you say that? That is something. And my thing is like, this ain't 20. First of all, actually, you couldn't say that 2025 because you'll get canceled again. But in the 90s, that's like, we're still tense then too. So it's like, you're bugging. But that was New Jack for you. Rest in peace. Hopefully he's resting wherever he is. But speaking of crazy conversations and crazy people on microphones. Speaking of that, listen, it's time to bring Draymond Green to the pulpit. Because man, oh man, first of all, Draymond Green, let's just get out the way. Yes, he's a 4-time champion. By the way, I don't think he even sniffs any conference final without Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? He benefited way more of the Splash Brothers versus vice versa. Like, Steph didn't need Draymond like Draymond needed Steph. So Steph likes to boast, not Steph, Draymond likes to boast at times. We hear him drawing with other people. They're like, yeah, well, you're not me. I'm a champion or whatever. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but he likes to boast about his success, which, it's earned. But this dude, Matt, do you know what I'm talking about with the whole Carl Anthony Towns thing I'm about to bring up? Do you know what I'm about to get to?
It's funny because, because I listen to ESPN New York radio when I'm taking Ari to school or coming back home or going. So they play, Draymond's.
Let me ready to go. The clip of Draymond quote unquote apologizing. I have that.
Before you play that though, I don't remember him saying anything. Cat didn't want any smoke with Jimmy Butler. I don't remember him saying.
I'll play it for you. I'll play it for you. At least I can find it. I have the aftermath. Matter of fact, here it is right here. Let me put share. I'm gonna share my screen so you can play this. He did mention he did mention that Jimmy Butler. Oh, here it is.
Really?
I don't want to hear Baron Davis talk ever again. But so that was the
Baron Davis is a wild dude. It's on a side note.
Yeah, his jacket's not clean. I'll tell you that. His jacket's not clean. But no, so you heard that clip. Basically, I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm biased, or not just biased, but I am in tune with Knicks media. That whole week, you heard about Cat might not play for a few games. They were saying he might be out for a couple of days or a couple of games because
they said this whole road trip he might have been out.
He might have been. Yeah, so it was already in our heads. And we were like, I wonder why. And then it said something personal. And then you saw his girlfriend, his fiance, she had posted F cancer. And then lo and behold, you find out, someone near and dear to them, which is like an aunt of Jordan Woods, his fiance. So that was like pretty much known before the game, mind you, before the game.
Which game?
Before the actual, before last Saturday night. Like, you knew that there was a grieving situation going on. There was a situation going on with cancer. I don't know if the death had happened yet or the funeral had happened yet, but it was definitely all in that same week. So
right,
you have that, and then people call him out for it because it's a little distasteful. It's a little tasteful. But you're wondering, like, all right, maybe he'll clean it up. Maybe he'll clean it up. All right, maybe he will clean it up because Draymond, he's a human being at the end of the day, and he's learned his ways on a few dramas. So I'm sure he'll clean it up. No way he can be a jerk about it moving forward. No way. But let's see what he said afterwards. Draymond and Bandit show will go on, and I don't think people are trying. I don't listen. I don't think that people are trying to like cancel him per se, but just like, dude, come on, man, have some decorum, have some grace with somebody's situation. But that's Draymond for you. What do y'all think?
God, he's an asshole.
Yeah,
he's an asshole.
There's really nothing to say. There's nothing. So
He said, "Wow."
I never saw the video, that clip. I heard it on like I said, on EN. And even Bart Scott was have some some ass. Like, you can
Yes.
say your apology or whatever, but don't be, well, I heard this, and the Draymond and Baron Davis podcast was still, we didn't expect
Yeah,
we didn't
that's
expect
the thing. That's why it's such a weird thing to say. It's like, did somebody say like, "Oh, that's the," like, I don't know if anybody had said that. So it just makes it seem like he was doubling down on being an ass just for the sake of being an ass. To be honest with you, that's the vibe I got from his
and,
comment.
and then the Draymond Green and Baron Davis podcast will
Yeah,
still go on. Then he said it again at the
yeah,
no.
double, tripling down basically.
He's a jerk. He's a jerk.
I
And
never listen. I'll be honest, I've never listened to the podcast anyway, and I
yeah,
only heard it anytime they ever played the podcast. It was a clip that I saw on IG,
same.
but I've never took the time out to listen to his podcast anyway. Because really, honestly, I don't give a shit what Draymond.
What's crazy? I don't really care what a lot of these athletes have to say. Paul George, he's probably pressed play more on his podcast than he's played games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's funny because I heard that same thing too. He probably more
more episodes.
more episodes than Phil's made. I said, wow, that's crazy.
That
It's
is
probably,
Yeah, yeah, like listen, and it's funny. He was at some wrestling show last night or wherever he was, and they booed him in Philly. He was at a show in Philly. I don't know what WWE, maybe it was SmackDown. Yeah, I think was it SmackDown. He was on.
yeah, because they were actually in.
Yeah, he was there, and they booed him.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it. Like, I fast forwarded, and they said Philadelphia 76ers most likely.
Philly don't play. They'll boo Christ if Jesus drops the ball. Like,
Bro,
oh man,
get that senior off the field.
You ain't lying.
Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles that are Super Bowl champions, but they also did throw snow.
Well, they did.
They did.
That the McNabb era, or that the McNabb era, or Vic era? What era was that?
I think it was before that. I think it was
before McNabb.
I believe it was before.
Where's McNabb right now? That weirdo.
So actually, something happened to him where his name was brought
recently. I remember something was going on with him. Yeah, I remember something.
Yeah, something. I think no.
But yeah, that's what it is. Because T.O.'s petty to the end. T.O.
Who you telling? T.O. still think. I'm like, bro. Yeah, you're in shape, but bro,
I don't know. T.O. might. He just can't get hit.
Hey, catch the ball and go right out of bounds. Go right out the field. Only do slots to the right or slots to the left. That's it. Get out. That's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, listen. Congratulations to the Eagles, because a lot of people felt like, here we go, third ring in a row, or what's his face? Yeah. They were like ready for it. So I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. Because it would have been historic, of course. It would have been something to talk about. They've never seen before. But I can't remember with the 49ers. Was there a break between
Yeah.
Because was it?
I think they might have won two, and in between that, I think Dallas or somebody else in AFC won.
And then they came back and won the new quarterback.
Yeah.
That was because they was rolling in the late 80s, early 90s. I had Joe Montana football on Sega. I had that. Like, don't get it twisted.
Yeah, they were. That was their era.
Speaking of that Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Chiefs that just happened, there was a clip where Saquon Barkley asked before the game saying, "Yo, these dudes can't mess with us. They've never seen a team." And basically what the Eagles did to them, it was like they've never played offense.
And it certainly felt that way.
Yeah, because the game was definitely one-sided. The score might not look that way, but it was definitely.
They punked them. Yeah. They definitely punked them. I saw a clip of Jalen Hurts on the sideline, and they were trying to celebrate, and he was like, "No, I ain't celebrating yet. I'm too. It's not over yet. I'm still too stricken from the last time where we thought we had it." So I like that mentality. I like Jalen Hurts. I respect him. Congratulations to them. What I would say though is that, yeah, as far as Draymond goes, man, like, some people cannot help being assholes. They just have to be assholes. Like, and there's assholes who are like intentional but funny with it. Nobody in this room is excluding that. But then you have like no blinders on or like no wherewithal about what you're saying. Like you just like talking freestyle, and you're just a natural in your heart douche, like douchebag or dickhead. And that's Draymond. You know what I'm saying? Like, even that punch to Jordan Poole, was that necessary? Was that
Absolutely not.
was that necessary? Or when he all the different clips of him hitting Steven Adams, hitting LeBron, hitting other people like in the lower region areas. Like, come on, bro.
No, he a wild boy. He a wild boy,
My
man.
boy. You know what's dirty? But it's
Nah, he ran into my leg. No, bro. Nah,
and don't get me wrong, you're not alone. Like Chris Paul's dirty. There's a few players who are dirty. He was like, hey, come on
Chris
now.
Paul definitely is, yeah.
You know?
But Chris Paul is not put out there as often. If you can YouTube dirty plays by Chris Paul, and you'll see a whole bunch. You'll be like, yo, I've never seen this. It's like there's a bunch of dirty plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hates Jose Alvarado. He can't.
I wonder why. That's
Because
crazy.
I don't know if you've seen Jose Alvarado is fast. He'll you all 95, and Chris Paul.
Oh, okay. Jose Alvarado.
No, Chris Paul, one of the dirtiest, bro.
Where's he
He's
at
one
right
of
now?
the
Is he in
dirtiest.
New Orleans? Where is he? Where's Jose
Yeah,
Alvarado?
he's still
You know, New Orleans. He's all like, yo, man, Zion, stop eating, my brother. Stop eating.
Zion's getting back in shape, bro.
Can I?
I heard.
I think it's his way of getting out of.
I think so too.
That's what it is. I think that's his way out. Yeah. And watch, he's gonna go to some other team, play all. No, not well. I'm not gonna give you two, maybe 76, and lead them to like the best record in that conference. Or
Right.
You think he's gonna make all NBA as soon as he leaves there? You think? Would you? Yeah.
Right. I think Zion, like what Matt said, I think it's intentional. He know what he's doing. If you watch the lottery picks before the draft, he was disappointed that New York fell third.
yeah, because I think him and RJ Barrett looked at each other.
Yeah, and they're like,
during
well,
that time. And RJ Barrett isn't the one that wanted to come to New York. It was Zion. And I can see.
I could, if he's on his A game as far as his discipline, his weight. I could.
If that's where he wants.
Yeah, and mind you, I think it'd be more feasible to get him now than a year or two ago. What I will say though is I'm scared of some of the bigger players, the taller players or the bigger players, because man, look at Embiid. The last time Embiid played a full season, I think Obama was around. Like it's just like yo, like it's crazy. Like these big guys, they cannot stay on the court, or some would say, I don't know how you feel about this. I think the style of play is not conducive today for them. Like this fast-paced run and gun or fast-paced offense, fast breaks, alley-oops. So I think the people from 30, 40 years ago, the big guys then, yeah, they were hurt too. Kareem and maybe early Shaq on the Magic, but a lot of the players, they weren't running down the court. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a slower paced game.
Or it was a little bit slower, a little bit more slower, a little more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I fully agree with that. Only because Jokic, 7 foot, 200 something, and he's played majority.
He's an alien. He's an alien, and he drinks, and he has fun.
Different. Might be something in that Serbian beer. I don't know.
And he races. And to be honest, though, and it's basketball is not even his first love. My man loves his horses. Once they won the NBA championship, he's like, yo, I just want to go wherever I'm. I forgot where he's from.
Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I just want to and ride my horses. That's what he wanted to do. He didn't even want to go to the house.
He didn't want. He didn't want to go to the parade. He didn't want to go to the parade either.
That's what it was. He didn't want to go to the parade. He just wait. There's a parade? Nah, I just want to go back to Serbia and make my.
I don't blame him either. I'm done with this American crap. I'm done with this American journey. Let me get back out of here.
But like you said, we said it. He that dude is an alien. There's no way. The first 30, 20, 20 ever.
Right. Yeah, that was crazy last night. Like I woke up to it. I was like, "What's this?" Oh snap! The first time ever. I was like, "This guy is an alien." That's why I said it. That's why I said earlier in the chat. I was like, "Yo, I understand Shea's been doing his thing this season. Because he has some crazy numbers himself. Just with there's some Jordan-esque numbers he has right now. It's that crazy. He's been balling. But how do you account for 30, 20, 20? And I think 2 out of 3 major stats right now, he's outpacing his previous 3 MVP seasons.
Yes.
So it's like he might get a fourth MVP. That's crazy.
I think it's more so the same thing they did Embiid when Embiid got the MVP. It should have been. I just don't think the NBA wants like well then again they don't want they don't want the same people winning MVP.
Yeah.
It's funny. Go ahead. I'm glad you asked that. When was the last guy? Okay, so let's go back. Russell Westbrook had that crazy season. He was angry at the world, so he won.
He might have been.
And I'm trying to. Who else is American afterwards? American.
I know that
Harden won after Westbrook, right? Or was that
maybe
before?
around that time. Maybe afterwards. Maybe afterwards. I know Harden was due one, and they kept trying to give it to him. And finally, he had gotten one. So maybe. But
so
that
it's
has.
of those three.
But that
It
has
had
to
to be
go.
of those.
But it's got, like I said, that's got to be Obama era. I don't think under Trump we had the first Trump era. We had I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. But it's been a while because
It's been a while.
Giannis won, Embiid won.
The
Jokic,
last 5 have been international.
the last 5 of the internet. So who's the sixth one back?
Let me see that.
Might have been Harden.
I'll look it up later. But yeah, it's just a different game now. And there's a funny joke going on right now where like people are saying, "Yo, we need more poor black crack baby players." Like this is a bad phrase, but we need more broken home, straight up old school American
Crazy.
style players. It's White Chocolate and Jason Williams, whether it's whoever, but we need more street American players.
I wish it wasn't worded that way, but I kind of
That was a terrible way of saying it. But
The
terrible
last
way of saying it.
American, last American
What year was that?
yeah, I figured that.
So 2018, and before that was Russell Westbrook in 2007, Steph
Yeah.
Curry in 2016, Durant in 13, LeBron 13, Rose 11, LeBron 2010, 2009, Kobe 08 in the
And then
07.
And mind you,
so then Dirk was before all this string of internationals, Dirk was the last international to win.
and mind you, Shea is Canadian. So
So it would be exactly. It'd still be an international. Yeah.
So it's like, yo, Americans, what's going on? And people keep saying, yo, man, the American kids today, they're just biracial legacy acts who do TikTok stuff and go and do NBA at night, but they're not like the old school from the streets. From
Yeah,
PG.
there's some truth to that for sure.
They're all named Jaden with the same haircut and the same, blonde mother. It's just like, it's a new breed of NBA kids today, American ones, and they're
The
LaMelo
ones that are
Balls.
still balling out is Anthony Edwards and Ja, really. But they're just not. Right now they're not playing at the level of these other guys.
And it's funny. I'm glad you brought up Anthony Edwards and Ja because they have that face of the league conversation going on right now. Where who's gonna be the face of the league? Well, Ja is 50 Cent, so it's like it's hard.
I'll be honest though. I agree with LeBron with what he says. Because do you really want to be the fake league? Because look at what's happening.
Let Mike explain what he thought further. So let Mike, because Mike is gonna break it down.
And let me introduce it. Let me introduce it. Like, so basically, y'all know already, you two, both. But there's a conversation going on right now where we're trying to figure out the media is trying to figure out who will be the face of the league. And I guess Anthony Edwards, he was interviewed recently about it, and he was like, "I don't want to be the face of the league." I think this is around All-Star break, and I guess he's been adamant for a while now about not wanting to be the face of the league. That's not for him. And he said, "Hey, let so and so let us." I don't know who he referenced, but it was somebody from international. But he was like, "Let so and so be the face of the league, not me." Maybe it was Giannis. Oh yeah, Wemby. Yeah, that's right, Wemby. Let Wemby be the face of the league. And now it's spawned this whole conversation about what is the face of the league and who should be on it. Should it be an American? Should it be somebody else? Who could it be? And I'm like, well, go ahead. You Matt, you said about LeBron's comments. What do you feel?
Yeah, LeBron said, like, do you really want to be the face of the league? Because if the league is going down like how it is now, they're blaming it on LeBron, the faces of the league. If the league is starting to trend downward, it's gonna be all your fault, and all that weight is gonna be on your shoulders. But to be honest, I don't think Anthony Edwards is gonna be a good person to be.
Well, I mean,
he's like another Draymond. He got like 16 technicals already.
Yeah,
And
already.
like, do you really want to lead it?
He does have that has hate this phrase, but he has that dog in him where like remember last year in the playoffs he was punking Durant. He was like clapping at Durant and sorry Durant, but it is what it is. But well, he loved it. Yeah, he did love it. And then he had the off court issues. You know, I don't know how y'all feel about Anthony Edwards.
He's got a lot of
off court issues.
It's got a lot of traction.
He does not believe in condoms. So like, yeah, like he don't believe in condoms. Like I think this is his second situation now he has where a woman has come out and said, "Hey, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna need help."
It is. It's the second situation.
And he's been adamant saying, "I don't want no custody. I don't want no acknowledgement of these kids. I don't want no kids." Yeah, exactly. And my thing is like I see it from both sides because listen, the latest woman is like 37 years old, and Ant's like what 23, 37. Yeah, 37 years old. Supposedly, if you believe it, supposedly he had said that he don't want kids, and previously it's been put out there that he don't want kids because he has a previous situation that showed that same concept where there was text messages where he was showing like, "Yo, get an abortion." Like he basically was saying, "Get an abortion, get rid of that baby."
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of that baby.
Send the picture. Did you do it yet? Send the picture.
Right. Remember? Yeah, Matt.
But wait, if you can't say I don't want kids and then proceed to not.
Yo, that's the name of this episode. Send the picture, and I might even post the text message picture. Because yo, Matt, he had said to the lady, no, get the abortion, send the picture. It's like, send me the fetus, send me that fetus.
My goodness.
Yo, it's crazy.
My goodness.
So like on one hand, you know the get down of him. You know what he wants. He does not want to have kids. So I would tell that lady, what's going on with you? Like, you should know better. But at the same time, I would tell him, like, yo, you're being irresponsible. You're being irresponsible as a dude, as a sexual being by not protecting yourself and not having the proper protections for her as far as contraception or preventive for birth. Like, so like you're bugging too. Yes. I be thinking the same way, Matt. With certain athletes and how they move, I'd be like, oh, he'll be broke.
Yeah. He's gonna be
exactly like Antoine Walker. He'll be broke. You'll lose that money. Remember that Chris Rock joke? He was like, rich is something you can lose in the summer or the bad habit. You know what I'm saying? Like Shaq getting rims is rich, but the person who signs his checks is wealthy. You know?
Right. That's wealth. Exactly.
Yeah, that's wealth.
Difference.
So, I think with Anthony Edwards, when you wilding out off the court, when you a jerk on the court, I don't know if you're gonna be the face of the league. But the question I have for y'all is it necessary today to have a face of the league? Is it necessary? Yeah,
I think it's, for me, I don't think so, because there's ways. And a lot of people that I speak to some people that work about this, they're saying the face of the league has to be American. Well, if you look at the top players in the NBA right now, they're not. Right. And once LeBron, KD, and Steph, I think they should just get away with the name, get away with. Right, and a lot of people, and you know what's funny? Nobody's ever mentioned.
I wonder why. The light skin hate? Why is that?
Yeah, nobody's ever.
With Tatum, he's got the skill wise. I mean, I just think he doesn't have it, if you will. I know that sounds like generic or whatever, and it's not very descriptive, but like you can tell when he gets on a microphone or whatever and speaks, like it's just like, all right, he doesn't seem to have the so-called personality for it, if you will.
Right.
But obviously the beast skill-wise, and Celtics are doing their thing, the defending champs, right? So, you know what I mean? If anything, you would think it would be him. But nah, like I think there's a reason for that why nobody's really like clamoring to him or even suggesting him.
But then even with that, yeah, that the NBA is, but he wasn't even.
He wasn't Finals MVP also.
And not only that, he can't come up with his own.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's always awkward.
Yeah,
it's awkward whenever he's.
Yeah, he stole Steph Curry's line. Kevin.
Stealing everything, bro.
Yeah, he definitely is. Do y'all agree with Channing Frye? And what I mean by that is I'm going to play y'all a clip. I'm going to play that clip right now. And I think this clip also kind of jumpstarted the conversation about basically Channing Frye was saying that nostalgia is killing the NBA. So let me play it for you. Hold on, I'm already sharing the screen.
Mm-hmm.
He went off. So that was pretty much what he was saying in a nutshell. What do y'all think? Do y'all feel like it's hard to even have a face of the league right now because the OGs who still commentate, were still pundits, etc., they lean too much on the past as a reference? You see it a lot on TNT, Barkley and Shaq and them.
So here's my take on this. I agree 100% with that was Channing Frye, right?
Yeah, Channing Frye.
I agree 100% with them. It's weird, right? Because for all intents and purposes, it's been Braun as the face of the league for well over a decade. Damn near 2 decades now at this point, right?
Absolutely.
Now, LeBron is an anomaly, right? Because he's this much of a beast. He's been this much of a beast for this long, hasn't really declined, and he's also carried himself well in the public light,
Right.
right? And LeBron is telling folks like, yo, that's why I have no issue with his face of the league comments, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because he is the face of the league, so he's allowed to speak to that.
Mm-hmm.
He's allowed to speak to that. And what he's telling you is like, yo, this is what it is now in terms of the heightened scrutiny with social media, but not only social media, the OG talking heads, the former players or whatever who have that nostalgia that Channing Frye is talking about. They're not, you know what I mean? It's like they're scrutinizing the game and the players more than they should be really not really appreciating.
Right.
Not that
Right.
you got to be a dick rider or nothing like that. I'm not saying that,
Right.
but there's more scrutiny than appreciation
Right.
nowadays. That's just the era we're in too. Like the social media, everybody's got an opinion, right? Even us, we have an opinion right now, right? We're expressing it, but everybody's got an opinion. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. Nah, somebody was running across the street and this car just sped up to like.
Oh, you said don't hit him. I thought I heard that.
No, I said don't hit.
No hitter.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. But I'm like, what are you talking about? I wasn't looking at the.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why would you want? Listen, these kids are built different. Also, you know what I mean? These kids are, they're a little more emotional and might be more aware of emotions, not wanting to subject themselves to certain stresses or whatnot.
Right.
So that's a legitimate question. Why would you want to be a face of the league?
Right. I agree. Ultimately, what Braun said, what Channing Frye said, that side of the argument. I try my best to play devil's advocate, and because other people are saying like, no, it's an honor. You should always rise up to the challenge of it. But I feel like there's this game being played with professional sports, especially basketball, where they pick and choose when you should be a Bret Hart style of true blue kayfabe, buy into a team, a city, versus no, you're professional and it's the job and it's okay to switch teams and it is what it is. It's like it's like a hypocrisy. It's like, am I professional that I should be able to treat this like a job and move on when I want to, or should I buy into this whole quote unquote legacy thing where I'll never leave and I'm bought into the historic past and like I'm a Knicks fan, so this was not my business in a way. It was not my business. But I never liked the response LeBron got back in 2010 when he, at a Boys and Girls Club doing a charity event, a more important function going on right now or happening, which is donating money and giving kids a look or shine. Instead, the whole world scrutinized him because he God forbid, he switched jobs. Like me and you, if we switch jobs, there's no argument. There's no analysis about why we went from AT&T to Verizon store or why we're
right.
There is no controversy about me going from one company to another, to one firm to another firm. It's like he went to Citibank. He left Chase. Oh my God, let's talk about it at the next FCC meeting. Like, it's not that serious, or SEC meeting, but they treated it like he was Hitler. You would thought Hitler was back. Like, yo,
I really don't know what he did. Yo.
I thought at the Boys and Girls Club, he also backhanded the kid. Like, what else happened that day? Why is there so much controversy? Yo, but you know this? Yo, honestly, and I'm gonna go dark here. And no pun intended, I'm gonna go dark here. I think some people are uncomfortable of a black man having that autonomy at that age to be like, oh, no, I'm not doing what you want me to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure. It's like audacious. It's like, yo, like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, you know.
You should be appreciative. Like, mind you, he wasn't under contract. He wasn't under contract.
Yeah,
He was literally a free agent.
He was leaving Cleveland to go to Miami, and they thought he was like Hitler. You would have thought like the world was burning. I'm like, yo, he's changing jobs and changing cities. He's changing jobs and changing cities. Go to Miami. Who wouldn't want to go to Miami? Have you seen South Beach? So it's like, so
I give him the respect though because he came back to Cleveland, won them. I think he won one or two.
He won one, but he won like,
but it was like V1, you know.
Yeah, but he won. I think he wins that. If Kyrie doesn't get hurt, by the way, I think he wins the.
In 2015,
yeah,
I think so.
I think they win that one. But go ahead.
But then he left again, and I think didn't they start hating him?
So listen,
because he left him.
Maybe, but not as much. Like it wasn't.
They were burning jerseys.
Vitriol. You know,
the first time
they left him with the title.
The first time they burned.
I'm not gonna lie, they actually, what I guess recently was his first game against Cleveland, and they made a video.
I heard they plan on retiring his jersey. I'm not sure if that's
I heard it. I heard. Yeah, I mean, in Cleveland, I heard that too. They might retire his jersey.
Nah, you had to play enough seasons to get your jersey.
Yeah. You know,
if that's the case, you might as well retire Kyrie.
They should. If that's the case, absolutely, they should.
As a Knicks fan, I be hearing this mellow talk about retiring jerseys or whatever, or a statue. I'm like, for what? And mind you, Melo is nice. Melo held it down when he was healthy. He would have these marvelous moments. I'm thinking about the Easter game against the Bulls, where he shot a 3 in regulation to go to overtime, and he shot a 3 again, same spot, to win the game in OT at the buzzer. So it's like I appreciate all the Melo moments. There was one game in Miami, I think they were in Miami, where he had 50 points all over jumpers. I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So he's nice, of course. I respect him, but to retire jerseys or to give statues, are you crazy? That shows to me the lack of, maybe if you want to criticize the league right now today, the lack of moments that we're having right now in the league, where like we don't have enough moments or enough historic stuff going on right now, where we gotta, make something out of jello and make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Jokic is having records.
You know what's Jokic' problem though, right? Marketing wise, he's a European. He's not like us. If he was black, I bet you he would be a bigger story, and I think he'd be more.
Even if he was Larry Bird, like born in Middle America or something like that.
Oh yeah.
There'd be a little more to it, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Even if he was American, that's right. I would say American period. Even Luka, same with Luka. I think if Luka was American,
I'll forget about it. He's the face of the league.
Trump would walk every day out to a press conference in a Luka jersey.
He's stupid.
No, I know that. Yes. I know that, but it's something about that all-American good old boy image. You know what I'm saying? If Luka was from Kansas City, Trump would have his jersey on every press conference. Like, get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, racial dynamics still matter and ethnics still matter in this country. So I definitely think that. But yo, real quick, I want to ask a Miami Heat question before we leave. But before I do that, I just want to say I saw a clip. I saw a clip of Barry Bonds. He was on the what's his name? What's his name? He beat up Derek Fisher over his ex-wife. No.
Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes and Stack. They have a podcast on Showtime or whatever it is. Paramount Plus. Yeah. Steven Jackson. So they had Barry Bonds on, and I'm glad. I'm gonna watch it just for Barry Bonds because I have something about Barry Bonds. I am very biased towards Barry Bonds because I feel like until they can prove it, it is what it is. He has the record, and I like that he drives some purists crazy over it. Like that drives people crazy over it. Because baseball is one sport. They're very old school when it comes to rules and tradition and what you can and can't do. And And I'm like, enough. Only
Yeah,
way
but
that
they're reinstating.
Trump wants to do that. Trump wants to do that. And you know what? I like chaos. So if Trump does that, I want to see people wild out over that.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see the fallout from that. I'm not gonna hold you. I do want to see.
What do you think is more egregious? Betting on games, because or taking steroids.
No betting on games.
No, see the thing with me though, betting on games in which change the out.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
Like
like
if you're betting on the Yankees versus Mets and you have nothing to do with it, but
right.
if you're the owner of or manager of the team and you're betting on that game,
You wow.
Mm-hmm.
100%
And my thing is like Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, the dude he was on the Toronto Raptors. I forgot his name. I don't want to look up his name. I'm so disgusted. Dog, Chris Porter, dog, why are you betting on yourself, or not even betting yourself to lose, or parlays where you'll sit out and you only have certain points? Yo, are you that?
That's unacceptable. That's
It's
unacceptable.
crazy. His login name is probably Michael Porter Jr.'s brother.
Yeah, it's like there's all this evidence. They had all this evidence to show that like he would sway games, and like I'm like, yo, why? Yeah, yeah. It's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, they gotta find this out. Like, are you that strapped for cash? What's going on
Now,
there?
now you're banned.
Now
That's
you're
like
banned, and he might
it's
be.
like crackhead behavior.
It's
Crackhead
it's
behavior.
crackhead behavior, and I feel like he might even get some time for it. But yeah, it's like, are you that broke? Like UPS is hiring, but
He's doing.
So
He's doing.
quick question. Just to clarify the thing with Roger, he didn't actually gamble on himself, right? Or nobody gambled on himself. It just so happened a lot of bets came in on him to under, and he just happened to get.
right. I don't know how.
Something like that.
I know the Southern District of Manhattan or New York is looking into it, and that's scary. Whenever I hear the Southern District
Very
attorney,
good.
U.S. Attorney Office, whenever I hear that office is looking at people, that can't be good. You know, and that's just me being a Power fan, because in Power, the woman lawyer, she's from the U.S. Attorney's Office downtown, so I learned from them how popular, how serious it is. Those prosecutors down there. What I would say was, I think Terry, he might be in the clear. I think something has come up where he might be in the clear, but it's just wild to have your name attached to that to begin with, you know.
Yeah, it sucks because you'll have that stain basically.
And your integrity is called into play.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear that. Real quick, we gotta leave soon. Real quick, I want to ask y'all, because it's been like a month ago the trade deadline happened and Jimmy left Miami for Golden State, and y'all are both diehard Miami Heat fans. Do y'all think Pat Riley is out of touch? Do y'all think there's a generational gap as far as how he handled it, or it's all on Jimmy, or is it a mixed bag? How do y'all view it as Miami Heat fans? What were y'all thinking?
So Jimmy Butler's not the first player to leave because of this situation. Look,
Posse, or no, that was somebody else said Posse.
yeah, Wade left, LeBron left, Jimmy Butler left. I mean, he has no issue recruiting the players. It's because from what I heard, he puts what he does. He puts his championship on the table, gives them one, and tells them, when you get yours, give mine back. And I think Chris Bosh actually still. I think Chris Bosh still actually. But again, he has an issue with keeping players. He has no issue with recruiting them. Because as you can see, all the stars.
Right, for me, before you go, Jeff, it was weird for me to see Dwayne Wade in that Bulls jersey first, and then later on that Cleveland jersey. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right, and it's not my business. I'm a Knicks fan, but I was like, nah, this don't look right. He deserves to be a Miami. Mind you, that statue is wild, by the way. That statue is. I mean, that was not Picasso. That was more like Pringles. Whoever did that.
First of all, nobody says your statue has to look.
Yeah, I understand, but when they unveiled it, there's a clip of Dwayne Wade and his son looking at each other like, yeesh. Yikes.
Which son? The son, daughter, or son?
Oh, no, listen, this is a
Cousins,
family show.
cousins.
Listen, this is a family show, but what I will say to that is, I don't know how you can know what you are at 12 years old, because I didn't know we're like more 12 years old, WCW or WWF. So it's like, how do you know something like that? But, but we live in a new world, you know what I'm saying? And I respect that. But yeah, man, what do you think, Jeff, about the whole situation?
I think it's a combination of the two. I mean, nobody nobody should knock Pat Riley in terms of accomplishments or whatever. Like, he is literally one of the most accomplished basketball characters of all time. You know what I mean? Every stint, wherever he's went, he's had success. The only place he didn't win a chip was in New York, but he actually did bring the Knicks to the finals in the 90s when he was here. You know what I mean? So I don't think anybody should question his basketball
His pedigree.
acumen, his pedigree. I don't think anybody should question that. Now, but he is older now at this point. Pat is in his like what late 70s, I want to say at this point. You know what I mean?
Something like that. Yeah, he's getting up there.
He's getting up there in age. When people are, you know, aging like that, they tend to become a little more stubborn. You know, I'm dealing with aging parents right now, and my goodness,
yeah, man. Let me.
They tend.
Go ahead, Jeff. My bad. No, go ahead, Jeff. You were saying?
No, I was just saying, like, so because of that, you know, it might be difficult for him to change tactics. Like, maybe the tactics that worked in the past might not work on a newer generation of player. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and he might not be willing to change some of that too because of his age.
Right. And you know, Matt, before you got on, me and Florida were briefly talking about this because, you know, the whole generational divide thing. And, you know, I experienced the generational divide. I can relate to Pat Riley in this sense. I experienced the generational divide at work. Like, I got a coworker, he'll be 25 next month. So he's very young. And when we talk about things, it's like two different perspectives. Mind you, he has some insightful stuff, but it's just different perspectives. And you could tell, oh, your generation kind of matters about how you view things. Cause like on a light note, he was saying, why do y'all think Usher's better than Chris Brown? Chris Brown is the GOAT. He's the one, not no Usher. And I'm like, hold up. Cause I like Chris Brown. I like his talents, his skill set. But these hoes ain't loyal are not gonna stack up to You Got It Bad or you know, whatever. Like, and don't get twisted. Chris Brown has great songs. In fact, that song he has out right now on the radio, what's it called? I forgot the name of it. But that's pretty good. That's a good record. I forgot the name of it. It's of his last album. But he has records like Fine China, or he has a bunch of records. But like with the generational divide, he be going in on me about Chris Brown. And the song that he'll play to support it, I'm like, that's not good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I try not to be that old man wagging the finger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to embrace the youngins and let them know, all right, I'm here. I'm willing to hear y'all out and try new things. But I understand how sometimes your generation makes or enhances your mind state. You know what I'm saying? And how you view things.
For sure.
I'll say this: like, we have a guy, his for the no, for the
Mm-hmm.
no, actually his shift was 5. He would take his lunch at 12 and leave. So the managers would be like, "Yo, you can't." He said, "Well, why I can't do that? Because we're like, if you take your lunch at 12 and your shift ends at 1 and your lunch ends at 1, you're more liable. If you take your lunch at 11 and come back at 12, you can reach out to the air covering, ask them if they need anything, and you can bring it to them. If you're from 12 once 1 o'clock hits, you're leaving. You're not going to check to see me." And he's like, "Nah, I don't understand why I can't get my own, why I can't shift." Like, bro, we're explaining it to you, and you're obviously not listening to us. And he's like, nah. He said, "You know what? Got some hoes." Like, cool. But listen, your lunch is going to be from 12 11. Regardless of whatever you want, your lunch is going to be from 11 to 12. And he kept, like, fighting us, arguing with us. And we're like, you're not good. Like, they want what they want, and there's no way they're not getting.
Yeah, again, generational divide. That's a instant gratification thing that they have or whatever. Like you said, they want it when they want it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah. So again, that.
And I was looking at a barbershop that we went.
Right. So, like, that's where I would say Jimmy, again, without knowing everything that's going on, Jimmy probably wouldn't have the patience necessarily to deal with, you know, whatever Pat is trying to preach to him, basically. Like, I can understand that because, again, Jimmy's younger. Jimmy's younger, so he's looking at it like, no, what do you call it? Y'all not giving me what I need that I asked the teams to give me. Like, no, F that. I want out. I want out. No ifs, ands, or buts. You know what I mean? So I could see how both sides could be a cause of the issue, and there wouldn't be no meeting in the middle just based off of that.
One second, y'all. Keep talking. I'm about to get a charger because the laptop about to die, and a special guest is coming on in a minute. So keep talking.
A special guest.
Yeah, he's
All
Puerto
right.
Rican.
and then like the thing like we both said about Jimmy, you're not winning any championships with Jimmy as your number one or even he brought the Heat to the final twice. One was bubble and one was in the season. But we got smoked when we had a pitch. You know what I mean? I hope whatever Golden State out for him, but most likely he's gonna ask to be just like he asked to leave Philly, asked to leave Chicago, cried his way out of Miami. He's gonna what's that? That's
Oh, look at this one. Look at Benny Blanco.
What's going on?
Yeah, man.
My goodness.
Yeah, man. We wanted you on because we were having a great. We're 2 hours in. We're 2 hours in already, but we were having a great wrestling WWE convo. Let me ask J-Lo off rip. J-Lo, what the hell is going on in the past few months or years where Shawn Michaels has been hiring these incredible women, the Jada Parker stuff? What? Can you explain to me what's happening? What's this new movement with the ladies? Mind you, it's International Women's Day, so shout out to all the women out there. But what's going on with
Shout out to all the women out there.
Shout out HBK. That's a fact. But the thing is with him, he's looking for the full package. You know what I'm saying? He's looking for the looks. And also, honestly, the girls at NXT, bro, they're the future, man. They are legit. Like coming up, we had the 4 horsewomen. You know what I'm saying? Now it's literally like the whole roster is fire right now. You know what I mean? Right. We got Lash Legend. She's gonna be a beast when she come up. You know what I'm saying? You already know about Miss Parker. You know what I mean? Like she's the one right now. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, shout out HBK, man.
Yo, the Lash Legend is like 8 feet tall.
Yo, she body slammed Otis like it was nothing. That was crazy. That's nuts. Otis is like close to 400 pounds, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Am I bugging? You were just at Royal Rumble, weren't you?
Yeah, I went to Indianapolis. You know, my wife got me out there. You know what I mean? Looked out for me.
You've flown out to a few shows. You went to WrestleMania Dallas, I believe.
I went to WrestleMania in Dallas. I went to SummerSlam in Tennessee. I went to Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. I did, you know, the New York joints I like to do.
Of course. Yeah, that's right.
Raw. Yeah, Raw's on.
Yeah. You know what, Matt? I'm glad J-Lo's here because now I shot both this because listen, I've been in and out casual over the years, but my hardcore era of watching wrestling was from late 80s to like I want to say 02, 03, and then when I started working at Home Depot in 05, my manager, my boss, he was like, "Yo, this is John Cena's new album," and I was like, "Who's John Cena?" And they go, "You don't know about John Cena?" And I was like, "Oh snap, I'm lost." And so I had heard the album. He had. Remember that he had an album like 20 years ago?
Yeah, I knew platinum.
Yeah, I knew the album before I saw him wrestle, so I was totally lost. I still have to catch up and learn the whole joke about you can't see me, so I'm very behind on the last 15, 20 years of wrestling. But I want to ask y'all, it seems like it was a big moment last weekend where he turned heel. That's what I'm hearing.
Crazy.
I'm hearing he turned heel. Is that true? And talk about the significance of that because I don't know his legacy as far as being a babyface person over the years. So y'all have more context for me. School me on how it's a big change.
First of all, he's been babyface with good guy for 20 years.
20 years.
He did the Dr. Thugonomics. He did the Dr. Thugonomics where he was the bad guy. But that was the beginning of, that's what solidified him. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you know what I mean? He's in the game. But he's synonymous with Make-A-Wish. He is in the Guinness Book of World Records for making the most Make-A-Wishes, bro. Wow. That's the biggest baby face for him to just turn around and just basically just shit on all of them is crazy.
How did he do it? All I've seen is the hug and the meme of him hugging with an evil grin. But what did he do that night? What was it? What did he do exactly to
So
tear me down?
Cody Rhodes is the baby face of the company.
No doubt.
The Rock, the final boss, he is wanted his soul. Basically, like, sell me your soul, I'll make you the biggest star. You know, I'll basically replace me with you. And then he was like, give me your answer at the Elimination Chamber. So at the end, everybody came out, blah, blah, blah. John Cena already won. So John Cena is facing Cody Rhodes in the next pay-per-view for the belt, which is WrestleMania, which is the biggest. Everybody knows WrestleMania.
And Cody Rhodes is son of Dusty, famous
Dusty Rhodes, correct. And also the brother of Goldust, Dustin Rhodes.
Yo, Goldust was so wild.
Wild boy.
Attitude Era
at his finest. Attitude Era at his finest.
And mind you, the music was fire. But I'd be like, oh no, here it comes.
Throwback elements. Goldust.
Yeah, Goldust is right. Throwback, bro. Yeah,
right, so back to the situation. So Cody basically told The Rock, "Go fuck yourself." Oh shit! He literally said, "Go fuck yourself." And
you're good. But I know The Rock was a part of it.
So The Rock, John's hugging Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes to The Rock. The Rock basically sees John Cena. John Cena hugs Cody Rhodes, and he does the thing with the
right.
John Cena's hugging. He turns, his face frowns up, whatever. He backs up, and that's when he low blows Rhodes. And basically, it all broke loose there with John Cena stomping on him with the belt off his shirt. And then you have Travis Scott in the ring. Don't know why he's in the ring.
Yeah, I don't know
but Travis Scott had the belt, and actually Travis Scott slapped Cody. He's down.
Wow.
Not even like
I saw that.
Even like we all know wrestling's fake, but not even one of those slaps. He
predetermined, sir. Predetermined.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, yeah, but yeah, there you go. So he basically slaps him, and they Cody Rhodes in the ring. The Rock, John Cena, and I just said Travis Scott. They're walking back. They're booing.
Wow. Well,
but there's a clip on Monday because John Cena basically Monday Night Raw, which was CM's out to the ring, and CM when he's on mic, you listen to him. He threw shade at John Cena, The Rock, all of them. He basically on all of them, and everything he was saying was true. He's like, Rock, I would love to say it to your face, you never show up, and it's true. The Rock is never there. John Cena, they're never there. He's there for like the pay-per-view and the night before.
Are you shocked as a consumer? Because I be wondering this, on some entertainment stuff. Are you shocked as a consumer that Rock still comes out and is active once in a while in shows or on pay-per-views? Like, are you like wondering, like, damn, I'm surprised he has time for this, or should he be doing movies or whatever? Or do you?
Remember, he's the board member TKO, which is the wrestling brand. So
you're right.
I was talking to somebody. Jay, when he comes back, might know more about this. I think he's still under contract.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's under contract for one more match, and I guess everybody's waiting for that. It's just, but The Rock's such a big name. Whenever it comes on, there's a big pop. Everybody's like, oh shit, he's here. Oh, The Rock. Oh, whether he's heel or face, everybody's excited to hear The Rock. The only other person that can do that is Steve Austin. You know what I mean? Where everybody gets excited when their music comes on.
Right.
Stone Cold probably never going to come back because he can't wrestle with bad knees. But again, anytime you hear The Rock is going to be there or his music pops, it's a
right. Yeah, he still garners that love or attention or that polarization. All right, well, here, listen. We're about to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. God damn. We covered a lot. Some fun, some not. Mind you, sidebar. It's crazy how we're talking about WE and our new Department of Education person is Linda McMahon. That just shows you how life is wrestling. Linda McMahon, Vince's wife or ex-wife, she is the new Department of Education. Trump named her the Trump Department of Education.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So this shit is wrestling. This is America's wrestling at the end of the day.
America is wrestling.
America's Wrestling. That might be the name of the episode too. But anyway, look, I appreciate y'all for coming on. I appreciate it. Shout out to y'all. J-Lo, I'll catch you on the rebound. And we'll do it again soon, y'all. All right, man. Y'all be safe.
Hey guys.